What's up guys, my name is Ace, and yesterday was the big reveal for Battlefield 2042's Hazard Zone mode. And this is something that people have been speculating about for quite some time. Many people thought this was going to be a battle royale. However, leaks have suggested in the past that this is going to be more of an escape from Tarkov or Hunt Showdown style of a mode. And it turns out the latter is correct. This is not a battle royale. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over just a brief overview of how this mode works. I'm not going to dive into every single detail. I will leave the blog post linked in the description down below if you want to check out every detail of this mode. But I want to share a brief overview as well as my thoughts on this mode, especially the fact that this isn't a free-to-play mode like many people in the community were expecting and hoping for. So let's dive in. Hazard Zone will be taking place on the regular Battlefield maps, so we aren't going to be having our own unique like Battle Royale style map for this or anything. So we will at launch have access to 7 maps to play for Hazard Zone. And at the beginning, you start in a mission area briefing. You get to select your general spawn point, where you want to spawn on the map, whether that's going to be a higher risk or lower risk part of the map. You'll also select your loadout and your squad. It's worth noting, in your squad, you can't have 2 of the same specialists, so this is where squad play actually comes into play, unlike what we see in the regular Battlefield modes based on the beta at least. And in this section, you can also pick different tactical upgrades, like extra throwables, or loadout insurance, or you can get things that will like increase your weapon swap time, just like little perks and things that you can buy before getting into the match. Then, once you insert into the match with your team, what you're looking for are crash satellites so that you can retrieve data drives. This is the entire goal of Hazard Zone, is to find these data drives around the map so that you can collect them and then extract alive with your squad. So in each match, there are going to be 32 players, or 8 squads total, and there's also going to be AI scattered around the map, just like we see in Escape from Tarkov. So not only are you battling the other squad mates, you do have to be aware of the AI that's around the map, because they can kill you as well. But once the match starts, the first extraction window will open up apparently shortly after insertion. So once that extraction window is open, this is where, once you have your data drives, you and your squad can extract at any time. Like, even if you only got 1 data drive, you could technically extract with that, although you'll probably want to be going for more than that. And this extraction zone that you have to get to in order to get out of the match alive, it's going to spawn in a random extraction zone. So you won't know exactly where you're going to have to go to until the match actually begins. And if you miss that extraction window, or if another squad gets that extraction before you, then you've missed your shot at that first extraction. And now you only have one more chance of doing this with the second extraction, which is going to happen roughly 10 minutes into the match. And like I said, this is going to be your last shot to do it. And what this means is, out of those 8 squads that enter the match, at most, only 2 squads are going to be getting out alive. If you miss that second extraction window, or if your squad is eliminated, then you're done. You fail. You didn't get any data drives out of that. So that's generally how a match is going to go, and each Hazard Zone match is going to last between 5 minutes if you extract really early with that first extraction zone, up to roughly around 20 minutes. They're not going to get any longer than 20 minutes. Now, as for just a couple other little details, as you're in a match, there are different types of special call-ins that you can find. So you can get a vehicle that you can call in, for instance, or you can get a redeploy uplink, and this allows you to get a teammate back if a teammate ended up being killed. It gives them a second chance. Because in this mode, it is technically a single life mode, with that one exception of being able to bring teammates back. However, it does have a down system. So if you do get killed, you will go down first, and there will be an opportunity for your teammates to revive you before you are fully killed, just like we would see in a lot of like Battle Royale games. And with that, that's a pretty high-level description of how a Hazard Zone match will play out. Of course, there are some more details, but like I said, if you want all the details, check the blog post down below. Now, I just wanted to talk about those data drives themselves. What do you get for extracting all of these data drives, and why are you incentivized to get as many of these and extract with them as possible? And the way this works is those data drives after a match, the ones that you successfully extracted with, those will be converted into a currency which you can use to purchase more upgrades and things to take you into your future Hazard Zone matches. So you can go in with maybe extra armor or extra ammo, or you can have like extra recon when you get into the match, so you can see the landing position of a capsule that's coming in before the other squads are able to see this, unless they have that same sort of perk that they've purchased. So that's sort of the meta game of Hazard Zone. The better you do one match, the better equipped you're going to be in your next match, assuming you decide to purchase these various perks. And that's pretty much it. That's Hazard Zone. And honestly, it looks like a fun experience. I definitely think this would be very enjoyable, especially with a dedicated squad. And I'm interested in checking this out. It does seem like sort of a more simplified, more casual-oriented version of Escape from Tarkov or The Hunt Showdown. And I personally think it's great and refreshing to see a AAA studio trying their own little take on this and making it appeal to a more casual player base. I, for one, have looked into Escape from Tarkov and Hunt Showdown to see if they were games I'd be interested in, and after doing a bit of research on those games, there is so much depth and complexity to those games that it just turned me off. It's not something I felt like I could just sort of jump into and have a good time with. I felt like it was something I needed to study and everything before even diving into the match. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, it's just that I don't have the time or the willingness to invest that much energy and effort into a game currently. I'm already busy with a lot of other things, and I want to just have a game that I can hop into and easily understand. And therefore I decided against ever checking them out, whereas Hazard Zone appears to be a lot easier to hop into for a casual player, somebody that doesn't take it too seriously. And I love that. It doesn't look like there's going to be as much of a commitment to be playing this game out. So I did want to share that opinion first. I am excited to play this mode. However, I'm also worried about the future of this mode. And the primary reason for this is the simple fact that Hazard Zone is not free to play, as many people were assuming before we figured out this information on it. And what this means is, at least at this point, it appears Battlefield 2042 will have no free-to-play component to it whatsoever. And that is definitely going against the direction that the industry has been going in lately, where the competitors are at least offering some component of their game that is free to play. Call of Duty has Warzone, that's their free to play component, and then with Halo Infinite, their entire multiplayer is going to be free to play. So Battlefield not having any free-to-play component whatsoever, I feel is going to be a big missed opportunity for them, unless they're cooking something up behind the scenes in the background that's going to be launching maybe next year or something, like a Battle Royale, or even something different that's free-to-play. But as of now, this does look like a big missed opportunity, and it also worries me for the future of Hazard Zone. I'm not talking about within the first several months after launch. I'm talking about 1 or 2 years down the road. Is Hazard Zone still going to be popular? Is it still going to be populated? Are you going to be able to find matches reasonably fast with a decent connection? Or is it going to go the same route that Firestorm went, or Blackout, where those were sort of the side modes that they added, but you did have to purchase the full game to be able to access that, and therefore you significantly limit your player base and your reach, and therefore the mode just can't sustain its player count long term. I guess it'll be a little bit easier with Hazard Zone, at least compared to those others, since it's only 32 players per match rather than 100 plus, but only time will tell when it comes to that. Now, a huge reason that many of us wanted Hazard Zone to be free-to-play, or were hoping that it would be free-to-play, first up, I really want to see more direct competition to Warzone. And I'm talking about direct competition where there's a good amount of audience crossover as well. Because as of right now, there isn't much direct competition with Warzone. I would say maybe Apex Legends is the closest where there would be some actual audience crossover. But games like Fortnite or PUBG, those don't have as much audience crossover with Warzone. And having Hazard Zone free-to-play, or a Battle Royale, or something free-to-play from Battlefield, would have been the best bet at proper competition with Warzone. And this would force Warzone to do better, and it would force Battlefield to do better. Competition is great for the consumers, and it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that, at least not with the launch of Battlefield 2042. And that's the big kicker right now. At least at launch, Battlefield 2042 will have no free-to-play component. My hope at this point is they're working on something behind the scenes to be releasing, hopefully next year, sometime in 2022. Maybe a Battle Royale, maybe something completely new, but some kind of free-to-play component that could properly compete with Warzone and force Warzone to do better. And I know many people will say we don't want a Battle Royale in Battlefield, and not every game needs a Battle Royale, and I agree, not every game needs it. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Battle Royale. I just think it would be a huge missed opportunity for them to not try to compete with Warzone in some way. EA has the resources, even if they have to pull a different studio in so that they aren't going to be pulling resources from the regular Battlefield 2042 experience. They have the resources to be able to develop and run something like this. And there's a lot of money to be made in this, not only directly from the post-launch sales that you would get from a free-to-play experience. Warzone has proved that it is very lucrative to be doing that alongside a traditional paid release. But if you also have a really successful free-to-play experience like this that shares cosmetics and shares items with the base version of the game that you pay for, you're also going to be massively increasing the sales for that base version of the game, because it'll be in people's best interest to have that base version of the game to maybe level things up more effectively, like people do for Warzone all the time, or they might just fall in love with that free-to-play experience and want to see more and try more out, which is just good for the base version of the game if that happens. Having said that, it's only really good for the base version of the game if this releases well after the release of Battlefield 2042's paid experience. You wouldn't want to launch a free-to-play mode alongside the game, because then maybe people will only like the free-to-play experience and realize they don't actually have to buy the full build of the game that they were planning on buying to begin with. So this is my hope for what is going on right now. I hope EA is cooking up something in the background, some kind of a large-scale free-to-play experience launching in 2022, in order to properly compete with Warzone, and I hope they're just keeping it under wraps for now because they don't want to harm their initial sales for Battlefield 2042. Now, of course, these are all just my thoughts, and like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm being way too cynical and negative here. I am excited to play Hazard Zone. I'm just concerned about Hazard Zone's future, and I feel there is a decent amount of potential for it to flop not too long after release. And this is where I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. What do you guys think of Hazard Zone as a mode? Are you excited to play it, or not so much? And what do you think about the fact that at least up until now, there is no free-to-play experience that we know of that's attached to Battlefield 2042? Do you think this is a big missed opportunity, or do you think it's going to be fine as is and there doesn't need to be a free-to-play component? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.